If you are like most architects, you probably find yourself looking at buildings admiring the successes, while cataloguing the design flaws to ensure you avoid making similar mistakes. Recently, I was in an elevator when I noticed the plastic laminate panel finish was damaged. Plastic laminate, although cost-effective, is not a great material for high-traffic areas, as the laminate is easily broken or delaminated when hit, particularly at counter or panel edges. More durable alternatives for high-traffic areas include granite, quartz, and solid surface composites, for example. To last the test of time, an analysis of the material's intended use, climate zone, sun exposure, installation requirements, thickness, color, texture, finish, and other requirements should always be explored prior to specifying. As most building projects have budget limits, the task of material selection is often a balance between cost, aesthetics, and the other characteristics sought by the design. For example, sometimes materials are selected solely on cost without understanding the impact on a building. It is not uncommon for a contractor to propose changing the thicker gauge of a sheet metal product to a lighter gauge in order to reduce cost. However, if the panel widths are not adjusted or actional beadlines added, the panels will usually warp or deform over time, negatively impacting the building's aesthetics and longevity. Oftentimes, the success of a material is linked to the composition of an entire wall, floor, or roof assembly, and not just the material itself. For example, 36 years ago, I worked on a building project where the floor finish was specified as vinyl tiles using a standard specification which required the addition of a vapor barrier below the slab and a requirement that the tile installer run a moisture test prior to accepting the tile base. As the project was in a hot desert climate, it was not unusual for a contractor to propose deleting the vapor barrier to save cost and time, simply based on past successes when it was not added. Several months after the building was occupied, the floor tiles began popping loose, making it difficult to use the building as intended. As a result, the existing tiles had to be removed, the slab cleaned, and a costly membrane adhesive used to install the new tiles. As a system, the vinyl tile material was dependent on the addition of a vapor barrier below the slab, minimizing water migration through the concrete. Was eliminating the vapor barrier worth the risk? No, as the cost savings disappeared once the installation failed and the designer and contractor became liable for the repairs. If I was to give one piece of advice relative to the selection of materials, it would be to think twice before you allow the contractor or installer to deviate from the product specifications. It might seem like a modest request, but it can ultimately create a lot of risk for the architect, not always immediately, but possibly in the future.